everybody, it's Miss Marie, and today for STEAM Thursday we are going to be building with Legos. We are going to build a moose, or you could try a reindeer or caribou, whatever you want to do, because we're going to talk a little bit about that first, and I'll tell you some of the differences and similarities between those animals and why I got thinking about it. And so you're going to need some brown Legos, all different sizes. I use some brown Legos, I use some beige Legos, and just for fun, I grabbed some sticker eyes or some wiggle eyes. So I'll show you what we're going to do with those later. But first I want to tell you about a fun trip I took last week. I put on my mask and I went to the American Museum of Natural History in New York. It's one of my favorite museums. And in their Hall of North American Animals, they have dioramas. That's where they have animals that have been stuffed and put into a background that looks like where they come from, painted in the background usually, and there's little details in there, and then it tells you some information about the animal. And in that hall they had caribou, and they had elk, and they had the white-tailed deer, and they had moose, and I think they even had some reindeer. And so, although those are Arctic animals, I'm not sure if they had reindeer in there, I can't remember now. Anyway, so it got me thinking, what are the differences between those animals? So I looked it up and I made myself a little chart so that I could read that to you, because they all kind of seem the same, but they're all a little bit different too. And we're gonna be building a moose today, and the moose is actually the largest of the deer animals. So they're called the deer family, and they have very long, flat, wide antlers. And they live alone. They don't live in groups, and they're usually in Canada and Alaska. They are the largest species in the deer family, as I said, which also includes the regular white-tailed deer, which we would see around here in New Jersey, which are also mostly solitary animals, much, much smaller than moose. And then the elk, the caribou, and the reindeer, and those are all different animals. The elk has tall, sharp antlers. The caribou has tall, curved antlers, and the reindeer has sharp and pointy antlers. All three of those animals do live in herds. The elk, the caribou, and the reindeer, they live in a herd, which means a big family group, and they stay together. The elk is from North American mountains and also in East Asia. The caribou can be found in North America, Europe, and Greenland, and the reindeer are only found in the Arctic, like our stories of Santa Claus and his reindeer, where they come from. They are roughly the same size, the elk, the caribou, and the reindeer. And mostly, in the deer family, only males. That means boy deer grow the antlers, and they shed them or drop them every year and grow new ones every year. And they get bigger every year. So the bigger they are, the older the animal is. Females rarely do, except sometimes reindeer and caribou females do grow some antlers as well. And that's it. They're from the cervid family, which is the type of animal that they are. And there's other species in there, but those are the main species or types of deer. And so I thought we could make our own moose out of Lego. So I'm going to tip the camera down so that you can see what I'm doing here. You can see I've got all of these different Lego pieces, and my eyes over here for now. And I'm going to start with the body. I'm going to make the body two-tone just because I feel like it. No other reason, just kind of makes it two different colors. And I'm going to make oh, that's the tail. And then we're going to make, actually, let's have the tail hang over a little bit, over the edge like that. Okay, so we've got the body, the two-tone body, the tail, and I'm going to make sort of a snout that goes over. And then I'm going to use two pieces of these 4x4s to make the head tall enough. We're going to do the antlers last because they're quite involved. But so far you see we have a nose, a head, a tail, and a body. And now we need the legs. Now you could do the legs just two big blocks if you wanted to, but I wanted to make it a little more accurate and give it 4 legs. So I'm going to put these little 2x2s or two bys in here like that. And I'm going to stagger them. That means I'm not going to have them line up. I'm going to make it look like my deer is, or actually my moose is walking. Let's see. Those are too close. Let's move this one up. And put this one back here. So you see it's staggered, so it looks like he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 legs, right? Now let's make those legs longer. Moose do have really long legs. So we're gonna give this moose as long of a leg as we can. As many of these 2-bys as we have. Well, actually, you don't wanna be too tall because he'll fall over. And this is gonna be a boy one because he's gonna have the big flat antlers that we talked about. So let's just get those tucked in there. Oops. And so now he's got 4 legs and he stands up really nice. There we go. Looking pretty good. Now we've got to give him his big antlers on top. So I'm going to use this piece of different color again, just to give it a little bit of color. And I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by. And I'm going to center it on his head. And then I'm going to just start to, let's see, let's add some 1-bys here on the edge to give this guy some height to his antlers. Oops. See, I told you it's hard to do the antlers. Let's put that on there. They pop off sometimes. Let's try again. That's better. Okay, but that's kind of still stubby antlers, don't you think? I'd like to have more. So I'm going to take a 3-by and attach it to my 1-by. And again, it's going to pop off, but that's okay. I'm going to put it back on there again. And he's getting there. I would like him to have a little bit more. So I'm going to take another 3-by and I'm going to stick it here, going forward maybe. And I guess this one would be 2 years old maybe, because that's how big his antlers are, which actually is a full-grown moose. 2 years old, that would be a full-grown adult. So I'm going to put on some of my sticker eyes and see how that looks. They're very silly. And he's got really, really big eyes. You could also use wiggle eyes if you like, and just a little bit of glue, and the glue will come off. And normally I wouldn't let you glue on your Lego, but these will wash off, and I do think it adds a fun little detail there to your moose. Oops. Oh, I dropped my wiggle eye. Oh, my dog will come and eat it. All right, let's see. There we go. And there it is. There is my moose. And you could change up the antlers if you wanted to and experiment, make them taller and pointier, maybe not so flat, and you could make a reindeer. You could even make Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer if you wanted to put a little red one right in the front there. You could make his face bigger, smaller, however you like. But there he is. There is my moose, just in time for winter. And enjoy, and definitely let me know. Let me see what you've made, okay? And if you get a chance, put on your masks and go to the Natural History Museum in New York. You'll enjoy seeing all the different animals I talked about today. All right, see you soon.